Om Sahanavavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma Vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Saraswati namastubhyam Varade Kamarupini Vidyarambham karishyami Siddhir bhavatu me sada. Namaste. The topic for discussion today is relations need love and care. Relations are very integral to our life. Human being is a social animal. He is not living in an isolated island. Even if he is living there, he has to relate with nature, with birds, animals, etc. So, relations are something we cannot avoid. It is an integral part of our life. And if we look into it, we will find that our happiness also depends upon it. Most of our happiness comes from our relationships. And therefore, if our relations with people concerned are happy and harmonious, then we are also happy. And if our relations are stressful, disturbed, then we are also unhappy. And that is why it is very, very important that we have harmonious relations with people. And it is an art to learn this. If we do not know how to keep and nurture our relations, then it is quite possible that our relations will disintegrate. And in spite of being physically together, we may be far apart from each other. So, it is an art which we all have to learn in order to be happy and spread happiness. See, there are some relations which we are born with, and there are others which we choose by our own will and we cultivate them. There are certain relations just as with our parents, with our children, with our siblings, with our nation. These are some of the relations which we are born with. We are born to certain parents. We are related to our siblings without our choice. We are born in a certain nation. All this is given to us. And there are other relations which we choose. For instance, we choose our spouse, we choose our friends, we choose our employer, employee, etc. So there are a set of relations which we choose, and there are certain which we are born with. Regardless of what they are, one thing which is common to them is that they are a source of our happiness. We need people to be happy, generally speaking. Here, we are not talking about wise people, wise men who are happy in themselves by themselves. We are not talking about them. Even they have to relate with people. And so we have to learn this art and find a key by which maintaining relations it becomes very important in our life. For this, we should know that we cannot take any relation for granted. So first thing which we have to know is that we have to value our relationship. First of all, there has to be a value for it. Value for any relations which I have in my life. With my parents, with my spouse, with my children, with my siblings. To talk minimum. We have to value this relationship. Don't ever take it for granted. Sometimes when we are together, we take a relationship for granted. That we will be together. We are bound with each other, and just because we are together, this relationship will continue. No, it is not like that. It may continue. We may continue to be together, but we may be emotionally far apart. There may be a ridge between us. It is not necessary that just because we are together in hearts also. It may not be there. And if the situation is not that, if we are not getting along with each other, then that much happiness we are deprived of in our life. And that is something which hurts us, which becomes a very big cause of our unhappiness. This we have to know. We have to be honest with ourselves and value our relationship. And first thing for that is we don't take it for granted. We have to work upon it, do whatever is necessary to make it harmonious, to make it peaceful, to make it a source of happiness and joy for each other. And so, what is it? Today, let us talk about what is it which make our relationship work and make it a source of happiness for us. Let me tell you that it is love and care which makes our relationship work, which make them harmonious. Love is a magical portion. It is a magical thing, element which will make it work. And this will not happen just by words. Of course, in the beginning words, yes, but along with it, our positive thinking about it in our thoughts and then in our deeds. When we fill ourselves with these two things, love and care, then it will make our relationship work. For this, we have to keep certain things in mind. We have to know certain realities. What are they? So, first of all, understand that nobody is alike. Nobody will be my way totally. We have to know this first. First and foremost, we have to know that everybody is different. There may be some similarities, but more often than not, people are different. Because they come from different environment, different upbringing, And most important is that they carry different samskaras, different tendencies, different disposition. What is a disposition after all? It is nothing but different samskaras which make up our mind. And these samskaras, these tendencies, sometimes, not sometimes, but more often than not, we carry from lives together. If I have a such and such disposition, it is not that I have had it from this life only. No, I am carrying those samskaras from past many lives. And sometimes we work upon them, and if there is a need, we improve them. And if we do not pay attention to some of our tendencies, they remain intact. Not only in this life, but in future lives too. Some of our tendencies will remain intact unless we pay attention to them, unless we work upon them. So, in short, we all carry certain samskaras, and different people having different samskaras come together. Even if, let me tell you, even if they are siblings, even if children who have come from the same parents, but still they may be different. Two brothers may be totally different in their dispositions. Children may be different from their parents. Sometimes parents think, how come my child is like that? Yes, he is your child, no doubt, but what about his past life? Where is he coming from? In this life, he is your child, but he has a long history in which he comes from a different background, carrying different samskaras. It is only in this life that he is with you. And not knowing this, that everybody is different, we expect people to be like us. We expect people to be our way, suiting us, adjusting with us. As a value, it is beautiful that we adjust with others, but it is quite possible that it may be difficult for others to adjust with us. Why? Because it is not possible for them. Because they are helpless before their own nature. People are helpless before it. If one carries a nature which is full of anger, full of disturbance, then it is not easy for that person to change, because he is carrying those kind of samskaras and they are deeply rooted inside. And we who are bound with them in a certain relationship, say we are spouses, we forget or we expect that they should be like me, they should be my way, always giving in to my temperament, my expectation. That is not possible. People are different. First of all, always understand that they are different and it is difficult for them to change. Unless and until a person is very mature, very evolved, it is not easy to bring about a change in oneself. And therefore, we have to understand that expecting them to change is not fair. Rather than that, we first accept, and then it is nice if they change. And in all likelihood, they will change. But begin with acceptance. Begin with total acceptance. We first accept and not expect. This is a very, very important thing when people are together. Generally speaking, when we don't know this, then when people are not according to us, when we have difficulty in relating with them, say for instance spouses. I am talking about this because this is a very, very important relationship in our life. Either we derive happiness from this, or we become unhappy and suffer in it. It is one of the most beautiful relationship, and yet if we don't know how to live it, then it can become a source of unhappiness, and sometimes it can even lead to separation. It is quite possible, and that is why we have to learn how to live it. So, when two different people have come together, rather than expecting the other person to change and be my way, rather than that, we first unconditionally accept them. Because when we reject them because of their limitations, because they do not meet our expectations, we reject them. We cannot put up with their limitations, with their faults and foibles, and so we reject. Mentally, if not physically in our action, but mentally we reject, we dislike. We begin to criticize. We begin to find faults with them. Then what happens, in this atmosphere of rejection, relationship will not work. I have seen that many a times people who are together in a family, let us say they are spouses, let us say they are brothers and sisters, brothers, parents, children, etc. They are living together, yes. And when some difficulties arise in accepting each other, then they stop talking to each other. For days together, sometimes even months and years together, they are under one roof, but not speaking to each other, not talking to each other, not exchanging any good words with each other. Tell me, how is it going to work? This is pure and pure rejection. We are stopping all the doors for it to work. This will result in disintegration. Never do this. Never reject. Instead, keep on working upon it. Rather than criticizing, rather than rejecting, rather than being indifferent to it, start tending it with love. Start nurturing it with care in spite of the differences. Because once we reject, then what happens? What happens, It deprives us of the strength to come out of our limitations. When we feel rejected by others, then we lose all the strength to come out of our limitations. So supposing I am not getting along with my spouse, And if I reject mentally as well as in words and deeds, then what happens? The person doesn't get the strength to come out. Already there is a problem. Understand that people are emotionally unwell. If they are physically well, it doesn't mean that they are emotionally also well. And let me tell you, this emotional ill health will also lead to physical problems. People have many emotional problems. They are not well emotionally. And when you reject them, when you hate them, when you criticize them, then what happens? They do not get any strength to come out of their limitations. On the contrary, all their strength gets depleted. Already they are not well, and it aggravates their problem. It aggravates their mental illness. So, we are not helping them really. By not talking, by rejecting, we show our unhappiness, we voice our expression, etc. But it is not going to help. We keep on criticizing them, that you don't know this, you don't reciprocate well, I do all this for you, I give in so much, and you reciprocate and respond in this manner. What have I got from you? What have I got from my relationship with you? We keep on criticizing, finding fault. We keep on comparing them with others. Let's see how the others are. So, comparing, criticizing, censuring doesn't work. Understand, it doesn't work. Even when you do it mentally, your vibrations of criticism, of comparing them, of censuring them, rejecting them, reaches them. Understand, your thoughts of rejection of your spouse, of your children, of your parents, of your siblings, or with anyone you are concerned, reaches them. Our vibrations are like our perfume which we wear. It reaches the other person, it spreads. They come to know that I am not accepted. There is a barrier between us of rejection. This doesn't work. This aggravates the situation. This worsens a relationship which is already worsened, which is already on the verge of breaking. And therefore, again, first accept. Accept with love. Accept with care. And in this acceptance, what comes in way is our ego. Our ego as to, why should I give in? I have been doing so much. I am equally capable. I should have my self-respect. I must have this is my right, etc., etc. Ego speaks in this manner. Ego asserts in this manner. Understand, this is a big obstacle. Our ego poses a big obstacle in our harmonious relationship. Do not let your ego come in between. Your relationship is more valuable than your ego, what will you do alone? Your relationship is more valuable than asserting your ego. Life has brought you together with a reason. Destiny has brought you together. Maybe to learn from each other and grow together. Certain accounts were not settled in your past, and life, destiny, Ishvara has given you this opportunity to come out of them by bringing you together and learn from each other, grow with each other. Life is meant to grow, not stagnate. But we are not getting along, so we break, we separate, we stop talking, we reject. This is not the remedy. This is by no way that things are going to improve. This is out and out a wrong approach. We have to be mature in our lives. We have to grow. We have to evolve. And this is the chance. Today or tomorrow, we will have to learn. If we avoid it today, if we evade it today, if we break up today, we will have to learn it tomorrow. Because if we break, then our samskaras will remain intact. We have to process them. And so, what is the remedy? Remedy is love and care. I would like to give you the example of nurses and caretakers who take care of patients. When they take care of patients, sometimes some patients are very, very difficult. Even though the nurse is tending to them, taking care of them, giving them medicine and whatnot, patients can be very difficult. They can reject. They can throw tantrums. But why are they doing that? Because they are not well. They are not well. Nurses do not look at their behavior. Nurses or caretakers do not look at what they speak. Sometimes they can be very violent also. Quite possible. But then nurse knows, caretaker knows, doctor knows what? That it is because of his illness, because of his or her illness, which has to be treated. And that treatment requires medicine, love, care, everything. Treatment. In short, they require treatment. Similarly, people are emotionally unwell. People who have come together either by birth or by choice, you are together. Okay. But that doesn't mean that you are emotionally mature. It is quite possible that emotionally you are not well. Quite possible that during your upbringing you came across many problems. Maybe in your past life there were problems and you did not deal with them. That is why certain problems are there. Anger is there. Violence is there. Self-rejection is there. Low self-esteem is there. Superiority or inferiority complex is there. People have many complexes which make their personality difficult. And it is there. If left as it is not, they are not going to come out of it. So, we work with it. And what is the element, what is the remedy which will work in this? Love, care, unconditional love and care, no matter what they are. This applies to both the partners. No matter what they are, we patiently deal with them, accept their limitations. If they are angry, we don't shout back at them. If they are aggressive, we don't become aggressive with them. Okay. Treat them as patients. Just as we take care of the plant which we have just planted. We water it, we put manure over there, and if need be, we make a fencing around it. And every day, with love and care, we water it, take care of it. Soon a time will come that as a result of all this care, that plant will become a full-fledged grown tree. Similarly, we nurture our relations with love and care. And in this, we give in sometimes. We appreciate each other, a very important thing. We appreciate in words and deeds. Sometimes a question may arise in our life, in our minds, that how to put up with this. Let me tell you here that if the case is extreme, there are some incorrigible cases, that they are very violent, very abusive in different ways, then yes. And we do not have the strength to bear with it, then yes. Then we can call it a day. We can separate. But if the case has not reached this extreme, then make all the efforts to work, to make it work. And that is, first of all, fill up your mind with love for them. This is something which we have to bring out from ourselves. And we have that capacity. Everybody has that capacity. If we don't bring our ego in between, what do I get out of this? In giving, you will get. Tell yourself, in the very process of giving, you are getting it. Giving itself is the way of getting it. When you give, when you fill up your mind with love for them, liking for them, you feel good. You feel happy because you are what you think. You are what your mind is. If your mind is full of love for them with the person concerned, if you are making an attempt to like them, your mind, your thoughts are of that type. And you are what your thoughts are. So naturally, when you have a thought of love and care, of acceptance, you feel good first of all. Experiment this. Don't just accept. Experiment this. And I can say this with guarantee that when we fill ourselves with love for someone, even mentally, we feel good. The first person to feel good is yourself. When you think of doing something for them, you feel good. When mother prepares food for children and husband, when she is preparing, And when she is serving them, filling up their plates with what they like, and when she sees the way they are eating, enjoying it, she feels happy more than them. So, the first one to experience happiness is yourself when you give. When even mentally you fill up your mind with positive and loving thoughts, because that is going to then express in the form of your deeds. So, when you give, you get. Don't every time ask as to what will I get in return. If you get it, fine, and you will get. That is the law. That is the law of Ishvara, that when you give, you get. But we don't wait for it. I would say that in the very process of thinking good about others, you get it. You are happy. You are at peace with yourself. You are filled with positive vibes. And when the case is that, when that happens, you spread that automatically. You spread that automatically. It reaches others. When you are like that, your environment is filled up with your vibrations, loving vibrations. People cannot remain untouched by that. It is not without any reason that it is said, Sabse unchi prema sagai. Yes, of course, Surdas ji writes this with reference to relationship of devotion between God and devotee, Ishvara and devotee, but this applies to every relationship, every relationship. The element which can beautify all relationship is love. And love manifest in action is care. When you care and share what you have, that love, that bond is going to increase. It is going to be very intimate. And so, rather than expecting others to change, when others change, then our relationship will work. Don't start with that. It may not work. So, first accept, and then things will automatically work. When you accept, you will be able to love them. Do something for them. Keep this in mind. We have to keep doing something for others. It is not that what you give is important, but the emotion with which you give. This gesture of giving verbally or physically goes a long way. People feel accepted. You may do a small thing. Make a dish which they like. Offer them something which they like. May not be expensive. May not be big things. Just simple good words. Sometimes simply listening to them, being with them, smiling at them, spending time with them goes a long way. But we stop talking. We stop responding. We do tit for tat. All this will take us apart. This won't bring us together. Rather than that, as I said, what is important is love. We have to love. We have to grow that way. Look at the rivers, I'll take the example of Ganges and all the rivers for that matter. They come from such far off places. Ganges comes from Gangotri. All the way she comes from there, battling with all the barriers. From the mountains to the plains she comes and does what? Meets with our, fulfills all our needs. That she can do this is because she's filled with the desire to be helpful, desire to be giving. Similarly, we also become rivers flowing with love, and this will touch everyone, not only people with whom we are closely related, but with others also. I like that line very much. Prema ki Ganga bahate chalo. Become the personality filled with love and spread that. Your very presence will become a source of love for others, a source of happiness for others. What else do we need? What else do we need? Rather than always asking, expecting. Do this for me. You did not do this for me. I did for you. I did not get it back. Okay. I did not get, but you give. In that giving you will get. Do something. Do small things. It will lead to big things. And remember, they will change. They are bound to change. Maybe in certain cases it may take long time, but they will change. At least some samskaras, there will be some change in their samskara, some melting point. So, we don't take any of our relations for granted, be it of spouses, parent-children, siblings, friends, neighbors, servants, employer, employee, and even teacher and student. We don't take it for granted. We have to continually work for it and work continually with love and care and share. We continually put our inputs by manifesting our love. First, we entertain love in our minds. That will pave the way for expression and manifestation in our deeds. And this will be a sure and certain way of making our relations beautiful. What else do we need? When our relations are beautiful and happy, we are happy and we spread that happiness, and therefore we continue to nurture our relations with this magical dose of love and care. Thank you. Om Purnamatah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanta Shanta Shanti. Harihi Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.